Okay, the player power rankings arrive at the wingers, the speedsters. And firstly, on the left wing, reminder that these are based on recent form, so the rugby that we've seen in 2025, but also taking into account previous form and the body of work of a player, a little bit of opinion and gut feeling as well. That's where the fun is, and that's where the chat comes in handy. So let me know what you reckon down below. Who are the best left wingers on earth? And obviously it's one of those where a lot of wingers can play left, they can play right. So I've had to base this just purely on what they have predominantly played at international level, and it's on that basis that I've made my call. I'm going to do this one whilst strolling through Chicago, because there's only so many hours in the day, and I want to get this video up. So while I'm walking back to my hotel, let's talk about them. Last time, the left wing position had James Lowe on top. Louis Bielbiere was on the rise. Since then, there's definitely going to be some changes in this one. Let me just warn you, because, well, Gabin Villiers has not played for France since I did this last time. Same goes for Makazole Mapimpi, hardly played for South Africa. Tommy Freeman has been playing predominantly on the right wing, so I'm going to have to move him. And then, yeah, there are more like that, so that's the context here. I'm just realising I'm trying to cross the road and do this video. Okay, so the top 10 looks like this. At number 10, Dylan Peach. He hasn't played a great deal of rugby in 2025, but what he has played, and that's down to injury for the most part, what he has played has been absolutely outstanding. He's had 3 caps this year, scored 2 tries, but those 2 tries, one was against the British and Irish Lions, the other was against South Africa. He has looked absolutely class when he's played. Unfortunately, like a few Australian players, he was injured. But Dylan Peach is at number 10. At number 9, someone else coming into the top 10, or I should say in his case, back into the top 10, Elliot Daly. Got himself on a British and Irish Lions tour off the back of playing really well for England during the Six Nations, still in the England squad now. Despite being, one of the older members on this list, he can play 13 at a very high level. He can play fullback. He has played most of his rugby on the left wing. That's why he's on this list. But yeah, he scored that winning try against France in the Six Nations. Brilliant team try. And he took it fantastically. And until he got injured, he was probably going to be a test lion again for a 3rd straight tour. He's been brilliant. I think he's 33 now, might be. Anyway, number 8, Monty Ioane, who had 4 appearances in the Six Nations, 1 try for Italy, always dangerous, really improved his kick chase and some of those fundamentals that you have to do as a winger now. And yeah, very good player. I do think, and I'm going to say this, right, and I don't want to be unkind to any of the guys on this list, I do think this is one of the poorer top 10s in the player power rankings that there are. It is definitely one of the poorer ones. Oh, I can't cross the road, so there's a bus in the way, so let's stand on this corner and chat. Yeah. No. I mean, it's green to walk, but no, never mind. Yeah, I'll just stand here. So, yeah, it's one of the poorest top 10 lists, just purely in terms of talent that's in it. But a lot of that is, as you'll see, because players have moved off the list, and also in some cases that next gen of player hasn't quite come through yet. But starts to get good from here, I would say. At number 7, Duan van der Merwe. Previously very high on this list, and on his day, one of the best wingers in world rugby. But that's just it, on his day. He blows hot and he blows cold. He has been named along with Darcy Graham as the 2 wingers for Scotland. I did wonder whether Kyle Steyn might get in ahead of him. That might be what I would do, because Kyle Steyn is a bit more solid all round, but Duan van der Merwe, I mean, I know this as an England fan, he can be absolutely incredible. In the Six Nations, he had 5 appearances, 2 tries, and he did score them, in fairness to him, against England and against Ireland. There you go, I can cross the road now. At number 6, Juita Vainikolo. Now again, I'm trying to be really fair to players from the Pacific Island nations, Fiji in this case, because it's really hard for them to get their squad together. There's all sorts of reasons for that, and so The fact that Juita Vainikolo's only played 2 international matches in this year, I'm going to try not to hold that against him, because there's understandable reasons why some Fijians don't play in the Pacific Nations Championship. He did play against Australia and Scotland, the 2 biggest games for Fiji, and he was outstanding in those games. Scored a try in the brilliant win against Scotland. And this guy has game-busting, game-breaking, highlight reel moments every single time he plays. He is a wild talent and one of the best in the world. And the fact he's, jumped in at number 6 on this list, I think that speaks to the direction of travel for Juita Vainikolo, who is only 26. He's going to be ace for Fiji. They've got some absolute ballers. Into the top 5 then. Mateo Carreras drops 1 spot. He's had 4 caps, 4 appearances in the Rugby Championship, 1 try, a couple of little niggly injuries, sort of blown hot and cold. He does dynamite things and then sort of goes quiet a little bit. But, I mean, just incredible footwork and acceleration and speed. Loving life in Bayonne and for Argentina. And man alive, their backline. The other winger for Argentina tends to change. It can be Delgi, it can be Iskro, but it's always, when he's fit and available for the most part, Mateo Carreras on that left wing, for good reason. He's number 5 on the list. Number 4, moving up, Caleb Clark, who's a proper weapon. 5 appearances for the All Blacks, 7 tries in 2025. They missed him. You could see how much they missed him. And when he was back and fit, he just gives them an identity. And he just fits the mould of the classic New Zealand number 11. Raw speed, big, powerful threat, good in the air as well, which is very, very important these days. What a player. Again, he's moving up. 27 years of age, so probably you'd imagine coming into his prime. And he's had lots of layoffs with injuries, so he'll be looking good. Number 3. James Lowe. James Lowe was number 1 last time. He is number 3. I thought he had a very, very average British and Irish Lions tour. When you start saying things like James Lowe's kicking game is really important, which it is, James Lowe's kicking game is really important, but I think that speaks to the fact that he's a different type of winger. He's a very intelligent rugby player, big, quick. He's not like your lethal finisher on the left wing. He's important tactically. He's a big physical presence. You can imagine a bit like being an inside centre or a flanker with the kind of job he does for his team. I just don't think he's quite been at his best. 2024 Six Nations was the last time I remember him being like vintage James Lowe. He's brilliant, and he'll probably go and answer any critics and put me in my place by having an absolute stormer against New Zealand. I'm in Chicago, going to watch him this weekend as I record this. But I just, drops down a couple of places. Still a brilliant player. He's only scored, though, 1 try in his last 10 appearances, which for an international top-level winger doesn't get you any higher than number 3. And he is leaning on former quality to be in that position. Number 2, Kurt Lee Arendse, who, well, and in terms of finishing, I know he's playing for South Africa and they create lots of opportunities. Their attack's been fizzing at times, but 4 games, 4 tries for the Boks in 2025, and it would have been more games and more tries, I'm sure, if he'd been fit. He has had some injuries this year which have limited the appearances he's made, but he's class. And now, with Colby on one wing and then the battle between Ethan Hooker and Kurt Lee Arendse for the other jersey, it's on. Steel sharpens steel. They're gonna push each other all the way through the next World Cup, I've no doubt. And at number 1, finally, you know who it is, don't you? Le Beep Beep. Louis BL Bieré is number 1. He jumps up from number 3 to the top spot because he has had an unreal 2025. Like, legitimately, Louis BL Bieré, at the age of, 21? At the age of 21, maybe just turned 22, he is a genuine contender for World Player of the Year. If he has a big game against the Boks and against Australia, I think there's a good chance Louis BL Bieré is World Player of the Year. I don't know if he would be the youngest ever to have got that accolade, but his performance, let me just say, 6 Nations, he played 5 games and he scored 8 tries. And some of them, only he could have scored. In fact, most of them, only he could have scored. Absolute top end pace, incredible rugby brain. That means not only is he literally very fast, his brain makes him even faster because he reacts. He's so good. He is so good. If there's a weakness, it's the aerial game, and I fully expect that to be challenged, especially by South Africa in the game in Paris next weekend. But no doubt in my mind, Louis Bielbiere, the best left winger on the planet. And so he's number 1 on the player power rankings. Let me know if you agree. Let me know what you think. Leave your chat down below. Give the video a thumbs up. And I'll see you on the next one.